Michael Gish, owner and inventor at Total Golf Trainer. I want to say thank you for purchasing the Total Golf Trainer Hip. Send us in your video for us to analyze so we can show you the best way to use the hip device so that you improve your game. With the Total Golf Trainer Hip, you're going to be receiving our quick start guide. In our quick start guide, we're going to be talking about how to set up correctly with correct alignment of your hips, working on our one plane takeaway, keeping the club on plane as we take the club away. Control your hip turn as you go back so you can feel how much you're rotating your hips into your backswing or creating that good load into that trail leg and trail hip. Finding that slot on the downswing by missing that training rod coming down. Getting into that good sequence so we can create that speed and dynamic impact. Also getting into that good finish while maintaining our posture so we're not straightening up too early. Also coming with this on the backside is going to be a quick way to show you the right and wrong ways that we're going to be able to use this on our trail hips. So this is going to explain to you how to use this for a trail hip setting. So when you get your product, it's going to come in the bag with our hip device and our training rod, as you see here. So now you can see our hip device, and the hip device here is made in a certain way so that there is a lot of tolerance here that we can open up our hip device so that we can slide it over a belt. Now, it's made very tightly so that it can also fit over skirts and skirts, things that are very thin, like in a t-shirt material. So that's why we're going to see a very tight start with the product. So as we go to slide this on our hip, what we're going to do is we're going to take the back side of the product here, and we're going to put this behind our belt. Now that it's behind our belt, we can pull on the top part, which opens it up and allows it to slide right over your trail hip. Our training rod here is just again going to slide into the Total Golf Trainer hip device on our trail side. So now, going through our quick start guide, initially the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bend this training rod so that it is going to be parallel to our target line at address. So when we address the golf ball, you're going to see that the training rod is going to be parallel to your target line. So as we go to take the club away, if we suck the club inside, you see the arms are going to make contact to the training rod. So we're going to keep the arms and club outside of the training rod. So you can see the club and training rod are now parallel to each other. As I wind up, I can now notice how much hip turn I'm creating. And if I start reversing and going this way, I'm going to notice it compared to if I can feel the load into my trail hip, maintaining the training rod somewhat parallel to our target line, not overturning, and of course not underturning. On the downswing, we're going to make sure we can get the arms back down in front of the training rod, not getting out in front with our hips and making contact to the rod on the way down. This is going to be a sequencing of the downswing that's going to create a lot of speed coming into the golf ball, coming into our impact position, and then all the way through to our finish where I'm able to maintain posture or side bend in my finish and not come up standing too tall into my finish position. So the Total Golf Trainer Hip here is again a very versatile product. In our quick start guide, we're showing you how to use this on your trail hip, which we have a lot of players from PGA Tour players to really great juniors and college golfers that love to use this product because one of the big factors here is we're allowed to control the difficulty of this. So with it here on our trail hip, a parallel setting is very similar to using the alignment stick through the belt loop. And again, the alignment stick was a great product when it was the only thing that we had to use. But now that we have these training rods that are going to give you better feedback, that's going to give you safer, effective feedback, we can use these in a way that's going to be able to allow you to set the difficulty. So for our better players, some of our tour players that use the device, they like to make sure that the training rod starts at more of a 45-degree angle to the target line versus the parallel to the target line. This is going to allow them to get a little hip rotation, again, creating the good width in our backswing as we wind up, but then really get the arms back down in front of the body so that the sequencing of the body and the arms comes into impact for the most consistent dynamic impact. Now, working with a lot of really good players, what you're also going to find is some players get really, really fast with their hips, and having it in the front part of our device here, they're going to hit it every single time. So we're able to now take the training rod out, simply slide it into the back of the device, again tightening down the screw. Now when I go parallel, it's more parallel to my back side here, which is giving me more space. So if I do get very fast and spinny with my hips, I'm able to find success and then increase that difficulty as I go. So one of the best features about our products is we're able to set this device based on what you need. Not just what a tour pro does or not just what a dead beginner needs. This is based on what you need. You're able to set the training rod, how difficult you want it, so that you can find the way to really improve your practice time. So with this being on the trail hip here, we're also going to be able to simply slide it off our belt. Once again, I'm going to slide the back part of our product here behind my belt, pull it open, and slide it right over my hip. Now on my lead side here, this is really great for keeping and maintaining our posture. So when we start swinging, if you're someone who has a tendency to lose posture or stand up in your downswing, you're going to swing through and make contact to the training rod. If I'm able to maintain my posture and get rotation, I'm going to swing my arms through and avoid contact to the training rod, getting all the way through to my extension, now getting to my finish where I can see the training rod and arms pointing at the same target. With this on our lead side, it is really great to help get some hip rotation, create some speed out of your hips. Learn to really drive off the ground and fire your hips on the way through. If you make contact to this training rod, you know that you can do it better. So one of the best parts about this is the feedback you're going to receive is not only going to tell you did it right, but it's also going to tell you on the ones that you did wrong that you can improve and do those better. And that is the best way that we can practice. To recap what we did here, we had our Total Golf Trainer with our quick start guide. The TGT Hip here started on our trail hip. So once again, I just opened it up, slid it right over my belt, inserted my training rod into the device, and once again, at a basic parallel to our target line setting, I'm able to work on takeaway, loading up into my backswing, finding that slot, creating that good sequence into impact, and then maintaining the good posture into my finish, seeing everything down and not getting everything pointed too much up and standing too tall. The Total Golf Trainer product, the hip here, is great on the lead or the trail. But to really get the feel, you can also use it on both. So we recommend that you do get two of these hips so that you can put one on the lead side and one on the trail side. On our trail side, we're going to keep it nice and parallel or at the 45, depending how difficult you want it. And for our lead side, we're going to make sure we keep it at a nice 90 degree to our target, making sure we're working on the turn and the sequence in the backswing and ultimately rotating and firing on the way through correctly. So for ultimate hip control, to get your hips firing, to get them loading in your backswing, to really get some consistency in your ball striking, the Total Golf Trainer Hip is a great product for you. We also have our Total Golf Trainer 2.0 kits and 3.0 kits. These will include the Total Golf Trainer Arm as well as the Total Golf Trainer V2. All of these products can be used by juniors and adults. They're used by professionals. They're used by beginners. The nice thing about these products, the adjustability of our training rods, again, allows this to be specific for you, the player. You're not trying necessarily to do what a PGA Tour player does because physically we're not able to make that same move. But we are able to say, how can I do the best I can do? What is going to be the feedback that I need to receive from these products so when I go practice, I'm maximizing my time out there on the range. And not just the range. This is also practice that we can do in a garage, in our backyard, in our office. This is feedback that we can get that will accelerate our learning process. This will improve our practice time. This will allow us to hit less balls and get more out of it. So send us your video, allow us to analyze it, give you the feedback that you need right away to get out there and be practicing the correct way that's going to best help your game.